Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to my channel. Today we are going to make a super fast, easy little card wallet, and it has really become one of my favorites. It's something I'm using all the time right now. And it is, you can even see it has my stuff in it, the Nana Banana made by Elle. This is fabulous for when you need just a couple of items. So I have in here my YMCA card, I have a credit card, and I have my driver's license. That's all I've got because sometimes when I'm going to the Y, I need this. I don't need really anything more. I've got my watch so I can text there if I needed to. And I like that I can just stick this really easily into the pocket of my leggings. I normally before that had been carrying a Pocket Pal. And I love this too, don't get me wrong. I love the Pocket Pal by Lynn's Handmade. It is so great. It's a great little size. You can see this is what I bring with me to Disney a lot because I don't need that many cards when I go to Disney either. I mean, you know, it's got the few card slots. It's got a nice size zipper pouch so you can put some dollars in there, some change in there. But and it does fit in the pocket of my leggings, but not easily. It's very bulky. And so I knew I needed to find something else for that because I'm going to the Y right now constantly as I'm training for a 10K and I need something else. So when this pattern came out, I thought, okay, we are trying that. And yeah, I love it. Now this is this one and this one. These are my test versions. This is one that I have some sort of fun Disney fabric with. I thought I could use it, or vinyl. I could use it on an upcoming trip. But we'll come back to this one. Yeah, this one is a thinner vinyl from More Me Now. And I just adore it. I definitely want to make some more of these for the one event I've got coming up. And I'm going to edge coat them. This one I didn't edge coat because I just want to try it out. But it's a great little thing. So if you need something for events, if you want something for gifts, I mean, Christmas is coming up. These are great little things for that. If you just need something small, this is fabulous. So thank you, Louise, for letting me make this and use your patterns in my on my channel. And yeah, let's get started with this absolutely adorable little card wallet.
Okay, well, let's look at our materials. My plan is to make 3 of these, though I think for this I'm only going to make 2 because I want to use a different color thread for this one. So the plan is this one's going to be for my friend. We're going to mention we're going to Disney, and so I'm making us something little wallet. This will be hers. This one will be mine. I mean, I like pink too, but she's going to love that one. But I need one to take with me when I'm just like going to the Y or something where I need to carry my wallet with me, and I'm going to stick it in my pocket. But you know, this is what I normally bring to Disney, and I will still bring it with me. But it's really cumbersome putting it in my pocket, and this will be so much smaller. I mean, you can see already. I mean, look at the difference in size. Yeah, that's going to fit much better, especially since this is all I'm bringing with me. This is my Y card, my driver's license, and insurance cards, and that's it. I don't bring anything else when I go there. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to use this print, this sort of pink pastel lilac, actually. I think that's the pastel lilac leopard print. I am normally not a leopard print person, but I really like this one. So I decided I'm going to use that for myself. So the pieces, I mean, it comes together really quickly. Let me show you this. So here are the pieces right there, as you can see, for this pattern. What you can do, and the reason there's tape there, is because I measured this and I wrote down the dimensions, because even though there are little notches on the corners right here, so there's a bevel the edges, it's still something you can do with measurements, because as you can see, I've already look at how the paper is. I mean, I could have done this on cardstock, would have been better, but still, cardstock eventually will start to curl, and I wanted something where I could figure out the measurements. And so I measured this, I measured these, I measured the little cutouts there, I measured, in fact, also how far down it is there and how far over that is. So I know measurement-wise everything I need to do to cut out all of these pieces. So just be aware you can do that with this. This is a great part of this pattern. Even where this is, just you can measure in how far you need, and that's where you're going to put your zipper tape. So that's great for that. Super easy. Now let's look at this for a moment. The reason we have those cutouts there was because you would normally be folding this over And the cutouts are there so you can, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera. You're keeping some of the bulk out of the edges there because we're going to eventually have to sew all around the sides. And it just won't be as thick if you've got that. What I've decided to do instead, though, because I'm using materials that are non-fraying, and that's really what you do need for this. You need non-fraying materials. But I decided to just leave them raw edged. I decided I'm not going to fold it over at all. I'm just going to leave it raw edged. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could go through and paint top edge coat. That's the word. The tops of all these. I don't think I'm going to do that. I might edge coat at least the ones that we're taking on our trip on the main edges when we're done. We'll see. If I do, I realized I don't use the shorts feature of YouTube very often. Well, or ever. And so maybe I'll do that. I'll put a short there showing what these look like when they're done. But for now, I've just made these raw edged. And so what I did was, fold that back up, I cut off this little bit that we fold over here. I cut that part off because I've already accounted for that by just leaving it raw edged there. So basically how this is going to come together so fast. We have our main piece. Now I haven't done the bevels yet. I did a test one with materials that were too thin. I'm not even going to show it to you. It didn't turn out well. But I realized, no, I think I want to cut those after I have everything together here. It's going to be a little easier and ensure that everything is really nice and symmetrical. So I've left all of those edges square at the moment. But you've got your main piece here. I've cut out the hole for the zipper tape. I'm using number 3 zipper tape here. Just going to make it easier. You could use number 5 here. You probably just don't want a huge zipper pull on something so small. And I put tape down the sides. And in fact, let's prep this one now while we're right here. So we'll take the tape off. There we go. And my tape, we'll take the paper off, the double-sided tape off. We'll put our zipper tape here, and we're going to place this over it. Now, here we go, get that there. The tape is longer, and in fact, I cut my tape longer than what Louise even has in the pattern, just because I just feel better that way. But I'm going to sort of get this all nicely situated. Trying to get it nice and equal. Now, sorry, something just fell. If you don't like the idea of it being raw backed here, you could certainly put some heat transfer vinyl on here if you wanted to. I'm fine with this the way it is. And so what we will do is top stitch around that, and that'll connect or attach the zipper to the materialer, and we'll be ready to go then. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put one piece here. Now I'm going to do some little things here to make it a little dressier. And then we'll put one. I've put tape on these already too. I've got tape at the bottom. We'll put that there. Essentially like that. And so I'll do a little sewing here, and then we'll do a little sewing here. We'll put this here. We're going to fold it all together, sew it up, and that's really it. I mean, it's fast. It's so fast. As I said, I have put tape on the edges here already. I am going to go through, make it easier to see, and top stitch the tops of these, just so that they look like they're finished at the top, and I'm going to do it on this one as well. So it should come together pretty quickly here. Let's get this one little bit prepped here as well. So again, I'm just going to take my tape off. Now, because I'm not using materials that have any right or wrong direction, I mean, that's something to keep in mind. If you have something which it has a directional print, I mean, you're going to fold it, which means one half will be upside down. So maybe keep that in mind. You also really don't have to worry about, unless you're using something directional, I guess, which way your zipper pull is going. I mean, because it's going to look the same on both sides. So don't worry about that unless you're using something directional. Then whichever side is the side that's facing up, you want to have your zipper pull probably going to the left there. So yeah, we've got these all set. Let's go over and we're going to top stitch the tops of these, and then we'll start to put this together. So we're going to first just top stitch the tops of these to just make them look finished. And there we go. I'm going to use just 1/8 of an inch, maybe even a little narrower. those are all done. One thing I'm a little concerned about is this material here. It's just really thin. Not thin. It's very, I don't know, because this is thin as well. It's just, this has a little more structure to it. We'll see. I'm afraid it might pull. We'll see. We'll see how this all goes. I was wondering if maybe I should have interfaced it, but we are going to keep going. Okay, so we've got these done. Let's now sew around our boxes here. So this is one where again you can backstitch if you want. You can also pull your threads through and tie them off. I am going to do the method so that I can easily sew around with the zipper there. I'm going to, what am I doing? I have to think about what I'm doing here. I'm going to start here. I'm going to start just in front of where the zipper is. So I've got a video out about this already. I'm going to start just in front of where the zipper pull is. I'm going to go around, and then when I get to this point right here on the other side, still in front of the zipper pull, I can move the pull all the way to the end and then continue around. And then I can tie off my threads. So I'm actually going to try to go, there we go, pretty close to the edge of the box. Clearly I just decided to backstitch. Now I'm far enough on the other side, I can go across. Yeah. So first, my decision to backstitch was accidental, so I've got to note that. It's a little messy back there. I think I'm just going to put a little dab of glue, and that'll help hold it in place. I'll be right back. So these are all set. You can see here's this one, which I did put a little dollop of glue. I just could see I didn't tie. I was able to pull through the threads for two of them. I backstitched. I wasn't even thinking I backstitched, and so those I couldn't tie off. But the other ones I pulled back, and I didn't tie it tight enough so I could see one of the threads here wanted to sort of pop out again, so I just put some glue there to sort of hold everything in place. It's all dry. This one turned out a little bit nicer. I was able to tie things off as you normally would. So now what we want to do is put on the card panels. And so the pattern will tell you how high up you want to put your angled ones. So we've got these angled ones here on the sides. These are going to be the back ones. And then the ones that are just rectangular will go on top like that. And so, as I said, the pattern will tell you where you need to put them. You can draw a line. I mean, maybe don't go all the way to the sides, but you can draw a line there because that's going to be hidden, so you don't have to worry. I put tape at the bottom of my panel piece here. Oops, as I throw the tape around. But I also put some on the sides, so once I know on just the little sides here, just that. You don't want to put any tape here because your card is going to go through there. So if you tape it, you can't put your card in. And so I just put some there. This is as wide as the panel, the main panel here. So you can sort of line things up and look and see, oh, does that look right? And we'll have to see. I might have to hold this upside down because I'd be easier at my cutting table, and I might have to go over to the cutting table. Well, maybe not. So what you're basically you're trying to line it up with where you've got it marked at the bottom, and then you want to ensure that the sides are even as well. And if they are, I mean, for me, I've got tape there, so I'm going to take the paper off of the tape. And that'll just help as I sew that down. Help keep it in place. Now what I'm also looking for, I want to ensure that the space here between the zipper box looks even too. If I cut something, off, you might notice that there, but I'm going to do what I can to make sure that is straight, even if it maybe ends up being a little crooked here, I can sew a straight line. So I've got that one done. When you're set, all you need to do is stitch across the bottom. Don't stitch across anything else. So you want to stitch across the bottom. I forgot to mention before, I'm going to use about a 4.5 inch seam allowance for all of this. And so you can backstitch here. I would. And you're only sewing on that panel right there. Okay. The back stitching will just give it some strength. I mean, you're going to be putting cards in and out of there, so you want that to be strong. snip it nicely in the back because this will be part of what's inside, sort of for your coins. So that's the first one. And now what we would do is take one of our rectangular ones and just snip the sides here a little bit better. And I know I just said snip the sides. I meant the threads that are on the sides. Now I've got tape here all around, 3 sides. Obviously not the top, but the sides and the bottom. You can have that here because it's going to go all the way to the edge. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to line this up with the edge. And so you can see why perhaps waiting to do those beveled corners might be a good idea because, I mean, at least for me, there's no way I would have had those match. And so I am just going to put a couple clips there to help keep those in place. We're not going to stitch it down yet. We're just going to put it down. You can see how it's starting to look. That is going to be so cute. So let's do the other side. So where are my pieces? So I've got this one again. I'm going to first start with the bottom. And as I said, if you're at a flatbed or you can go over to like your cutting table, then you probably don't have to hold it down upside down the way I am. But you can sort of stand over it. But I'm aligning the edge here, so I'm looking to see, is the edge lined up there? And then I'm checking to ensure the edge is lined up on the other side. Now I want to see if it looks even. Because it looks like I might have it, yep, I can see. I've got it a little off on one side. There we go. See, is that even now? Yeah, I'm just trying to ensure that the space here looks good too. I'm going to take the little bits of tape off on the side that I've got there. Oh, hopefully it's there. We'll see. Just to help hold it down and hold it in place. Let me see. Oh, no. Yeah, that looks great. So now I'm going to stitch down the bottom of this one. And let's get the, here it is, the final one. And again, lining it up with the corners. We'll cut those bevels out later. I am also looking to ensure it looks straight here. So let me see. No, that bottom one. Shoot. Let's see if I can. It's a little. See, this is where I'm sure it would be a lot easier if you were sort of at a cutting table. Let me try to get this. I think that's better. I think that's good. We'll see. And so what we'll do now is I'm going to put those together. We'll put tape on the inside just to give you an idea. We're going to put tape on the inside to help tape everything down. And we're just going to sew around the edges. That's it. The one thing I'm debating, I think this one, the tape will be fine. But for this one, I might glue the sides. I'm just concerned. So first, let's just get the card slots on this one, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to glue the sides or not. So let's do this one. this one's all set to get ready to put the bottoms on. I do think I'm going to glue this. It's just, you can see, it's so soft. I just feel, I'm concerned about it shifting when I'm sewing all of the layers together. My machine can certainly go through layers. That's not an issue, but still, I'm just concerned. So I'm going to glue it. I don't want any shifting to occur. The one thing I realized I forgot to show you was once I was finished sewing the back, the zipper panel on, the zipper panel. Once I was, not the zipper panel, the zipper tape to it, I did cut down the edges so that it's not long any longer. So I'm going to go over to my cutting table because it's going to be much easier for me to ensure everything is aligned. I'm going to align those. I'm going to ensure that the bottoms are aligned here and not throwaway pieces. There we go. For this one, as I said, I think I'm going to glue the sides down. I just feel a little bit better about that. But for this one, I'm going to, we'll take these off. Once I've got that bottom one lined, I'm going to put tape around the edges here, and we will close it. And then, as I said, we'll stitch it all around. And that's how we're going to get that bottom one sewn down too. So I'll be right back. I did decide to glue both of them down. I just thought I wanted it to be safe and just ensure things didn't shift. I can also, I'm looking here, do I need to trim a little here? Maybe a smidgen. Let me grab my scissors. So that's the benefit now also of having this glued. I can kind of go through. You can do with a straight edge if you need to, if there's that much. This one, it really is very little. I just need to trim a little bit there to make it even. I did that already on this one because I do think I'm going to go and edge coat it later. I can still move things a little bit. This bottom one, remember, is not actually even, it's just taped on. There we go. That's better. I did also put the little notches on the bottom corners. Gives it a little something there. Yeah, I think these are ready. Now, the other thing you can do as well first, before you start testing, or sewing it all together, is test. So I have, if you have a credit card, you could clearly use that. I have this template that I got from Carolina Little Stitches. And so I can see that will fit. Because we're going to do, we're just going to stitch around. We're not going to have a very wide seam allowance on the side there. That will fit. And I'm going to check this one. Of course, this one it's hard because there's nothing stitched at the bottom yet. But you can see it will fit. This one does have already at the bottom, and so it fits. So I think we're good. So now what we want to do is just stitch around the sides. I am going to put little back stitches over the sides of the card slots right here because I don't want those to come up as I start to put things in and out. So I will be back stitching with this, which is fine. So we're just going to go from the edge. Let's see, I could feel as I was going here, I had my hump jumper too low, and yeah, I can see I missed some of these. It shifted a little. I should have had my hump jumper higher because I caught it elsewhere. Oh, nope, I missed a little over here too. I didn't, that's me. That's me not taking into consideration the thickness right there. And so I'm gonna have to put another little row, which I think is fine. Let me see. Am I going to have an issue if I put one more row? No, I think it should be okay. I think it should be okay. I'm going to put one more right next to it. I might have to go over those stitches. But yeah, see, it looks nice from this side, but I can see right there. It was too thick. So I'm raising my hem jumper up, and that was me. And I'm going to try that again. I'm going to move that over as much as I can. There we go. I still missed that little corner right there. I'm going to have to probably tack that down. But let's see if everything fit. Or everything. Let's see if the cards fit. Because it's narrower now. Oh yeah, they still fit. So we're good here. Good here. Let's check this side. Yeah, so they still fit. I just need to tack that little bit down, but otherwise I caught everything. Yeah, as I said, it was simply I didn't have my hump jumper up enough. So that's me. That's on me. But let's tack this little bit down so I don't have to worry about it. Let's see. I'm going to try to do it from here. Yeah, I think that's better. It's going to do. I might just glue it down a little there too, but I think it's okay. Looks cute. So let's go on to the other one. There's that one. I think I will have to trim it a little. It still, I can see down here, it did shift a little bit. Even with the glue, you know, this is, as I said, you can see probably how soft that is. One thing I probably would recommend, because as I was doing it, remember this bottom one here is not attached, and the sides on the top one weren't attached either. And you don't want to base those down because you'll have a lot of stitches. So what I might recommend doing is, ideally, you want to be coming up over those like that. I might recommend starting in the middle, and if you don't mind having a little back stitch there, you could always try to pull it through and tie it off and hide it in here. But I would start in the middle and go up and go this way, and then start in the middle and go up and go this way. Yes, you might have a little back stitch at the bottom, but I think that way you're just going to have you're going to do a better job going over those. Or you can glue the sides down. Again, I only glued the main pieces down. I didn't glue the sides. So now, as I said, I think I'm going to go over and use my rotary cutter and cut those up. So we'll be right back and we'll take a look at how they are. Okay, let's take a template, put it in. That looks good. Good there. It's a nice fit, actually. And now, granted, I did do that extra row of stitches around, but yeah, that works well. Let's test this one. Go ahead. Good there. There's a little bug. Good there. And here too. Yay. So this is good. I did clean up the sides a little bit on this one here, and I do think I'll probably edge coat just to have it have a cleaner look all around. Probably both of these. I'll just do a little one. This one I can feel, because I had some issues, because my hump jumper on my machine was too low, meaning it was putting too much pressure on it. It's doing a weird curve here. I think that'll probably shift. It'll loosen up as I start to use it, but that's fine. Or put cards in it. That'll certainly help. But yeah, I think just having a little edge coat on these will just make it look nice. So yeah, so these are super fun. Gosh, this is such a fun little pattern. Super easy. If you need something where you need to do some production sewing for a market or something along those lines, these are perfect for that, I think. They really come together very, very fast. Yeah, so thank you, Louise, for letting me work on your patterns, do tutorials for your patterns in my videos. So yeah, if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks.